Eggs ask, is merchant words similar to the Google keyword tool? I don't think so. I'm not necessarily sure what you're referring to about the Google keyword tool, but you could be talking about the you may be talking about where you can search and see how many times something has been Googled.
Yep,
Let me
that's
know if
right.
I'm not
That's
understanding
correct.
that correctly. But merchant words, I guess you could say it's similar because you can find out how often, they give an estimation of how many times a certain keyword or a certain phrase is searched on Amazon.com. And so it's pretty neat to search some things on there and see what people are looking for. And it can be useful. I'm sure I've talked to people who are very they'll swear by merchant words and they use that constantly with their t-shirts and they do well. But and I think it's a great idea if you have a smaller amount of shirts. But my point was that for me with the larger amount, when it comes to speed, I just bypass that part. um,
Yeah, I kind of like the way that you're doing it, Dan, because you're you're taking a speed approach, and you've got a system. That's the thing about it is, it may sound like when you say you're going for speed, it may sound like you're throwing shirt designs up against the wall to see what sticks, but you're not. And your ratios, your 10 to 15% ratios, kind of prove that out, that you're getting great results for the designs that you do put up. So, but I like the idea that you can do that, focus on speed, and then remove any shirts that don't sell over a period of time. Can you give us your thoughts on that? Do you remove shirts, or do you leave them up, or how do you work on that side of things?
I've not removed any because I've not hit a wall on my tier yet, on any tiers that I've been at since December. Now in December I did delete some because I was only at 100, and I hit that limit, and I realized I think maybe 2 weeks into December I realized that about 35 of my shirts hadn't sold since I put them up. And that tells you a lot about December, that only 35 out of my 100 hadn't sold. So anyway, so I deleted those and then put 35 more up before Christmas. And so that's the only time, but I did put them back in as soon as I got tiered up.
Hmm.
So that was the only time that I deleted any. Now, if I get to 8,000 and Amazon just absolutely refuses to tier me up again, then I'll definitely go through and do a thorough analysis of these shirts haven't sold in 6 months, so I'm going to get them out of there and put some new ones in.
Right.
But
Question:
yeah,
do you know if any of those 35 shirts, once you put them back in, did any of those sell, or have they sold, or do you track
yeah,
that? Very-
yeah. Well, that was the funny part was that before I put them, before, like I said, they didn't sell in December, and they weren't selling. But when I put them back up in January, after I had a little bit of time to learn some of these things that I've learned, I put them back up in January, and they right now they're still some of my best sellers. But they
Oh,
wasn't they
wow.
wasn't selling in December because I didn't know exactly how to optimize the listing and how to fully um, take in as much of the audience as many people as I could. I probably nobody was finding them because I
Hmm.
was just doing like a lot of people would do, and I would put like I don't know, say for example, my shirt says I like pens. I was just putting I like pens T-shirt, and I wasn't putting anything in the bullets. I wasn't putting anything in the description. So somebody would have had to have typed in directly I like pens T-shirt to find it. And so, but so I learned a lot and put them up. Now, like I said, now they're some of my best sellers.
Amazing.